Greg Barnes and Ross Martin here for Inside Carolina at John Paul Jones Arena. Ross, North Carolina lost for the 5th time in a row in this building. Kind of a similar format that we've seen in years past. Coming into today, we knew that Virginia had the top-ranked defense in the country according to the advanced metrics. We knew they were shooting 40% from three, and we knew that North Carolina had some issues with taking care of the ball. They had a lot of turnovers in recent games. What today, given all that, surprised you?
It was almost like the perfect storm of inability to get anything going inside on offense, which is UNC's bread and butter usually, and then just a lack of any sort of easy baskets in transition, secondary break. It just nothing came easy for UNC today. And when you turn the ball over like they did, 19 turnovers, and then don't get any easy baskets, it's really tough to win. And turnovers was the main message in the locker room. All the players talked about it. Obviously, that was Roy's message. You can't do that. You can't give the ball away and give UVA, a team that, you know, they struggle to score sometimes as well, give them easy baskets. And that's just the perfect potion for a beatdown here in Charlottesville.
Yeah, and it was interesting because there are good turnovers and there are bad turnovers. Yeah. And we saw some really bad ones today. You cannot just make careless passes out at the midcourt line and allow Virginia to take it, go down, and have a highlight reel dunk on several occasions. I mean, that gets the crowd pumped up. We saw that today. That invigorates that defense, makes it even tougher. And so really the carelessness of the turnovers, I think we can talk about the number, which was significant, season high, but some of the passes, some of the plays they made was a lack of focus, lack of poise, inexperience, a lot of different things.
Yeah, and I think UNC had 0 dunks to UVA's 8 dunks. And Theo Pinson said, yeah, they're not even a dunking team. And they got easy baskets. You know, that's not their game. That's kind of UNC's game, to dunk it inside and dunk in transition. And they just couldn't get anything going that was easy. And I think it's a look in the mirror time. You know, I think they were exposed in a lot of different ways, defensively, especially offensively. And I think the lack of interior scoring is a huge concern. You know, Luke was not effective at all inside. Obviously, UVA packed it in. Sterling Manley, Garrison Brooks didn't do much inside. They just can't get anything going. And they did knock down some threes, but that was about it. That was really their offense in this game.
Yeah, and I think, you know, in the second half, Joe Barry had a spurt there where he kind of tried to lift the team, but he can't do it on his own. And Roy Williams put a lineup out there midway through the second half, and it was Playtech, and it was Felton, and it was May and Garrison Brooks, and I'm blanking who the other was. But you're looking at that lineup saying, okay, who of these guys is going to be your scorer? I think it was Luke May. And so you're like, Luke's got to be the guy, but as you mentioned, he struggles against this type of defense. So where are you going to find points beyond Joel Berry? And the answer to that is either from the outside the perimeter, which they didn't get many good perimeter looks, or transition. And Virginia completely took that away. So moving forward, if those things aren't working for you, what are you going to do?
Super unique situation where they don't have a go-to interior scorer.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen it happen for watching UNC basketball, because Luke May is not a traditional big,
right.
And when he can't score from outside, it really limits what they can do inside, and it spells trouble for UNC. So they're going to have to figure something out. I think the psyche heading into the next game is they have to revamp and figure some things out, and that's going to be how they're going to score, how they're going to attack really, really good teams with athletic big men and big players down low.
Yeah, and I think one thing that everybody that follows Carolina had hoped for is that early in the year, you want Sterling Manley, you want Garrison Brooks, you want Brandon Huffman to get a lot of experience, because Luke May cannot play the 5 effectively in this league. He's be a great 4-man, but he's got to have somebody alongside of him like a Tony Bradley. Tony, of course, is not here, so you hope that one of these guys would come along and develop. The problem is now you're in ACC play. They haven't quite reached that peak where you want them to be, and now you're saying, okay, well, if we play them against these tough teams, does that hurt their confidence? Are we making them better? Are we making them worse? And that's the kind of dynamic that Roy Williams has to kind of play with the next couple weeks, because those guys have to play at a higher level for UNC to have an opportunity to do what they want to do this year.
This is a whole other